So, hi, my name is Martha Morgan with allergydragon. I'm Chef Martha Morgan. I'm here in Rainbow Blossom Wellness Center, and I'm going to teach the class on mung bean pancakes that happen to be gluten-free, vegan. Well, you can make them vegan, and I'm making them vegan today, and they're top 8 allergen friendly. And then, other allergens and that kind of thing. We're going to go over that. But this is like a Korean dish. So obviously I'm not Korean, but it's one of my favorite dishes. I actually love Asian food. And so one of the challenges when you have so many food allergies, I have celiac disease, multiple food allergies. My youngest one, has 33 food allergies and celiac disease. And, you can get safe food all the time, but you really want delicious food and that kind of thing. And I am in a store, so you're going to hear background noises and that kind of thing. And I'm here in Louisville, Kentucky on this very cold Saturday. And so thank you so much for joining me. I do have people joined, and you can always ask questions verbally if you'd like to, or you can chat and they'll come up. My husband Don is actually helping me out today, and so if there's anything that pops up, hopefully he can tell me. Sometimes I can't always see it, and then like I said, if you are comfortable coming on, you can just say something and ask a question. Okay, and I do plan on putting this on my YouTube channel. So this is one of my virtual classes that I do in groups with a Rainbow Blossom, and it's a way to get information and participate in the class. So a lot of people are like, how do you do these? What do you so you can watch this and see if you'd like to ever participate in one. So I think that's pretty cool. So I guess we'll get started, okay? So we're gonna go over the recipe itself. Is like 2 cups of mung beans and 1/4 cup of rice. Now mung beans, what are mung beans? Okay, mung beans are part of the lentil family. So if you do have a lentil issue, you may have a problem, or beans or that type of thing. They're in Asian cooking, in Indian cooking, you're gonna find them quite a bit. They're yellow actually, and then they have a green skin. Usually you find them in the stores already peeled and that kind of thing. You find them in Asian markets. You can find them in grocery stores too, okay? I am using 1/4 cup of rice in this too. The thing about this is you actually have to, it's a very easy recipe to throw together, but you just have to kind of prep for it. So with the 2 cups of mung beans and the 1/4 cup of rice, I take them the day before I'm going to do this, like the night before, and I usually rinse them off in a colander really, really well and get them really cleaned, and some people like to soak them and then drain it, soak it and then drain it to get them cleaned off, but you're cleaning it off. And then you're going to put them in about 4 cups of water. I usually 4 to 5 cups of water, a teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of baking soda. Sounds weird, but the baking soda helps actually kind of soften them up. And they're going to set in the refrigerator, and you'll use them that night or afternoon, whatever. But you want them to soak for at least 6 to 8 hours if you're going to do it. It makes it much easier. And so then we're also going to have a cup of room temperature water. We need 12 ounces of bean sprouts cleaned. These are mung bean sprouts that I have, okay? I've cleaned and drained them. I'm gonna put them to the side right now so I can bring other things over. You're gonna need 1 egg or 1/4 cup of a gluten-free flour or starch, okay? Like cornstarch works really well if you can have cornstarch. Potato starch, it's not bad, but it does change. It's a little bit more of a gummier texture. I like a gluten-free flour blend. I usually use Namaste or Hungry Harry's instead of an egg because my daughter is allergic to eggs. But you can also use just 1 egg, ups the protein if you can have eggs, or if you're not trying to eat eggs. That's up to you. We need 1 bunch of green onions, and I'll say a bunch because normally they're like a really big amount of them. Like if they're really huge, you're only going to need like 5 or 6 of them. But if you get like little tiny ones, green onions, and you have to clean them and cut them, I actually have 2 bunches here because the bunches were so tiny and little. So I actually used 2 of them. So which ends up being about 1.5 cups chopped. Then we need a cup of kimchi. Now, kimchi is obviously a Korean, ingredient, I guess I should say. It's actually a side dish, but it comes in different forms. Usually it's cabbage and that kind of thing. You can get it pre-made, but it's fermented. And so some people can't eat that type of thing. So it really depends on what you can do. I do have a fake kimchi that I have, and I'm going to go over that, our fake kimchi, but it's an alternate. but you can buy it like pre-made that's gluten-free. My biggest thing is like it has garlic in it and that kind of thing, even if I get a kimchi that's gluten-free. So I make like a faux kimchi. So again, with prepping it the day before, you can get like a coleslaw blend or shredded cabbage or a vegetable that you can eat. It can be kind of any. I mean, radishes are good for this too. And you basically chop it up and it's going to have like 2 cups. So this is for the fake kimchi. So you take 2 cups of like whatever salad mix or coleslaw mix you want. I actually use like some type of coleslaw mix. So it has carrots and cabbage, and this one even has Brussels sprouts and that kind of thing in it. So really whatever vegetables you can have. And then I put 2 teaspoons of vinegar, apple cider vinegar, or you can use rice wine vinegar. I do 2 teaspoons of oil. You can use avocado oil. I'm using sesame oil because we can have sesame oil, but if you can't, any type of oil that you like, olive oil is a really good substitution as well. And then I'm going to put a 2 teaspoons of salt. It's not 2 teaspoons of salt. I'm sorry, I messed that up. It's a 1/4 teaspoon to a 1/2 teaspoon of ground red pepper, and then 2 teaspoons of paprika, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then I mix it well, and then I refrigerate it overnight. And this is almost 2 cups of like after it sits down, because like the salt and everything gets in there and soaks into it, and but it won't have like as much tang to it. That's why you put the vinegar in it. So it's almost like making a coleslaw and kind of mimicking a little bit of the kimchi flavor. It's kind of like a sneaky way to do it. So it just really depends on your allergies. So we also are going to use 2 teaspoons of garlic powder or dried shallots. I'm using dried shallots because we have a garlic allergy. Dried shallots or ground dried shallots really kind of mimic a garlic flavor. 2 teaspoons of salt and about 1/4 to a 1/2 teaspoon of white pepper. 2 teaspoons of sesame oil or an alternative oil that you can have. Okay, avocado oil works good, that kind of thing. We like sesame because of the flavor, and we can actually use it. It's one of the few things we can use. So I had to do magic TV. Okay, so I've already soaked my beans overnight, and then you're going to use a food processor, and you're going to put your beans in. I usually put my mung beans, my 1/4 cup of rice after I've dumped them out, drained it, rinsed them off again. And then I'm going to put my 1/2 cup of water in my food processor. And I'm going to put my flour, and I'm going to put basically all my seasonings and my oil. And I'm going to put that in the food processor, and I'm going to puree it for about 3 to 4 minutes, scrape the sides, and just basically get it to like, it's almost like a hummus. Okay. That's pretty much, we have it like almost not quite as lumpy as not lumpy, but not as smooth necessarily as a hummus, but you can make it thicker if you want to, but that's basically it. I just put all that and let the food processor do all the hard, heavy lifting. Okay. And I couldn't bring my food processor here because, it's a little bit cumbersome to bring. So that's why I did some TV magic. Does anybody have any questions yet? If you do, just remember to yell, or you can type. Okay. So I'm going to preheat this pan for a little bit, because I always like to mess up this thing because I don't do it on off sometimes. I took a 3-month break. I'm kind of like, just one of those things that you end up forgetting about because, oh, I haven't been here enough. Even though I've been doing these over a year here, you think I should know exactly. I still have the hardest time working the timer on this oven over here in Rainbow Blossom Wellness Kitchen, just because I'm not in here every day. So I'm putting this on about a medium to a medium high heat, and I already put some avocado oil in. Here's what I'm using. And we're going to mix together our Mung Bean pancakes. And these really are like, they're so good for you. They have so much fiber, they have so much protein. And you can, if you want to, traditionally, these are actually served with usually like ground pork. So you can put 4 ounces of ground pork or ground chicken or ground beef in it if you want to. You don't have to by any means. You're getting enough protein with it, but it does add some flavor, it does add some texture, especially if you have somebody who's like, oh, I don't want it vegan or that kind of thing. But this is a very easy way to get a lot of fiber, a lot of protein in. And like I said, I am in an actual store. So we're going to take our mung beans and our pureed paste of mung beans, our mung bean sprouts, You can use soy sprouts or whatever sprouts you want to use. I just like the mung bean ones. Those are easier to get. I'm gonna take my green onions here that I've already, washed and cut. The magic of it all. And then this is my fake kimchi. Like I said, if you can get real kimchi, then go for it. I have to watch the garlic and even vegetables with the Vesper. So now we're just going to mix this up. So the flour, the reason we put the flour in is because I'm using that as a substitution for the egg. And so it's going to help kind of congeal everything together and hold it together. And this is, I don't know, the recipe itself is very easy, but like the hardest part is just making sure you plan ahead and put it in the oven or put it in the refrigerator. And I can smell that this oil is already getting warmed up. Okay, I'll turn it down a little bit. I don't want it to like go and instantly burn. That would be bad. And if anybody has any questions, like I said, feel free to say something. We actually, interesting enough, is going to be having some like cool things happening for Allergy Dragon soon. We have like a TV show kind of thing that we're doing. I hope everybody had a really great holiday. I've missed these classes. It's awesome to be able to talk to people and just be out and about. So this is really honestly the hardest part of this recipe is just mixing it. And this is a fun one for the kids because, the kids love to get their hands dirty. And I don't have gloves with me today, so that's the main reason I'm not using my hands, because I find it much easier to use hands as well. Just throw hands in the food. And this is like one of the recipes that my daughter actually, or my youngest actually got very sick on because they ate so much of it. And if you eat too much of anything, it's gonna make you sick. And then for a while couldn't have it. But this recipe, when we first got introduced to it, it was asked for pretty much every single weekend. So I'm just using, yes, this is a soup spoon but I find it like to be like the perfect size to like grab a hold. And I hope everybody can kind of see. I'm gonna try and get closer. You can kind of see it's just mixed pretty well. Okay. You may have a little bit of water gather, just mix it up. Okay, and so I'll have a full one, and I'm just going to put this down here, and I kind of push it down like you would a pancake, essentially. And I'm going to put a couple of them here. You can make a big one if you want to, but you want it to be really thick and hearty. And we'll try to move the camera over here in a minute so you can see it, but you'll definitely see them cooking afterward, what they look like afterwards, because we're going to actually make a sauce while these are going. So I'm going to put like 3 of them in here. I don't want to overcrowd. Some of that stuff stuck in there. I don't want to overcrowd it either, the pan, especially since this is not a pan that I'm used to working with. So, okay, you almost can see it. Yeah, there you go. Okay, I'm going to take this up a little bit to medium. So I just didn't want it to be too hot. Okay, we're going to make a sauce real quick. So, okay. Hi.
Approximately how much time do you cook them on each side, do you think?
Usually 8 to 10 minutes on each side because I like them very crispy. If you don't like them as crispy, then you can take it down to like 5 and 5. So it really depends on your pick. I love the crispiness on the outside, and then like there's a crunch and a really good like soft texture too on the inside. So I like to do them 8 to 10 minutes on each side because I like them really, really brown and crunchy. And I need a towel for 1 second. I usually have one like ready for me. I didn't do that today. I'm sorry, I could barely hear you when you asked. Sorry about that. And like I said, it's about medium-high heat, about 8 to 10 minutes. And they are really, really going to start smelling good. So a dipping sauce. Now I like the dipping sauce. I usually use half and half, so you can mess with the increments, but you can use rice wine vinegar or apple cider vinegar. I'm using apple cider vinegar today because that's what I had on hand. And then you can use soy sauce if you can have soy sauce. And it's just, I'm not using soy sauce. I'm using coconut aminos, which is a substitution for soy. We can actually have soy at home, but it's just, it actually tastes really good. It does not taste 100% like soy sauce, but it's a really good alternative. And it's not quite as salty as soy sauce. So, because a lot of people are like, what does it taste like? I'm gonna take this pourer off. But this is coconut aminos. And it is starting to smell really good. So anyway, I put 1/4 of a cup and 1/4 of a cup of the coconut aminos together. And like I said, you can use soy sauce. You can chop up one of the green onions and put it in there. But honestly, that's pretty much the sauce. That's what I usually use. And just to make it pretty, put some like green, you can put some green onions in there. It doesn't really add much to the flavor of it unless you like were soaking it overnight, which you could obviously make this overnight, the sauce as well, but it's extremely easy to make. And then you just, you know, mix it up, and it adds a really good acidity to the whole thing without adding a lot of pepper or spice to it. Because the kimchi, if you're using real kimchi, kimchi's spicy. Or if you're using like your own kimchi, you can still adjust your folk. It's not really kimchi, you know, my fake kimchi substitute. You can adjust the flavoring because of the pepper, so you can make it less spicy or use a spice that you can have, but it's just a really good flavor. And these are going to keep cooking. Oh, we got some sticking issue, unfortunately. That pan was really good. Because the whole thing is you really want it to be hot. I was worried about eating too hot. And oil, you can use whatever kind of oil you want, but you want to make sure that the oil, you have enough oil in there. And this one has quite a bit of oil, but for some reason it is sticking. Because I guess I probably didn't have it quite as hot as I thought. Nobody's perfect. Especially when you're not using your instruments to cook at home. I am putting a little bit more oil on here. I have about a tablespoon of oil in there because you do want some oil to really get it kind of good and crispy. And if you don't have any meat in there, you do have some I do have some sesame oil in there, which is going to add a little bit of fat in there to actually, you know, help cook it as well. And it also adds flavor. It's true, fat adds flavor. So we are just going to wait for these to cook and make sure that they are not sticking on me anymore.
If you add meat,
I'm sorry?
If you add meat, do you put it in raw or do you put it cooked?
No, you put it in raw. You put it in raw, just 4 ounces, and you want to make sure it's browned or really fine. And then you're going to cook it for, you know, the 8 minutes. I would do 8 minutes at least on each of them, just to make sure that the meat gets cooked. But no, I actually, we can have beef. We can't have pork at my house, and we actually like it with the ground beef occasionally, and then sometimes we don't use it. We like it vegan too. And then ground chicken is really good too. So it's a way to get extra protein in there if you can have it or want the protein. It does add flavor. So sometimes people are like, I don't like the vegan one, but then they like it with the meat. I do not like it with fish. We can't make it with fish at home. And so I don't recommend it because the fish really doesn't help bind anything together, and it adds a little bit more liquid, and it just, I don't particularly enjoy it, and it changes the texture of it a little bit too much. I'm going to grab a plate. I forgot about grabbing a plate beforehand. I never take the one on the top because these aren't flipped over. It just wigs me out. I always like, I want to make sure it's a clean plate. Any other questions about it? The sprouts, you can use any type of sprout you want. Like I said, you can use soybean sprouts, mung bean sprouts, which is what I'm using because they're just easier to get a hold of. You can even sprout your own. I've never taken the time to do it, but I've heard you can do it. So I can't sit here and say, oh yeah, let me give you that information. I do not. I've never tried to do that one. But there's quite a few people that have told me that they sprout their own bean sprouts, which is interesting. I just don't have the time for that. So I think we're at about 5 minutes for this one. So I'm just gonna look and see. Yeah, see. I want to cook them for a little bit longer. I am doing a little bit more like a medium high. And sometimes you have to play around. It's almost like I say, like the very first pancake, like when you're making pancakes at home, regular pancakes, the first pancake is like always put like one pancake in, and then you're like trying to like measure how much fat and how much like heat, especially if like it's a new griddle or something. Ooh, a griddle works really well with these too as far as cooking them. So I think I got a typing thing on here and I can't see it. See if there's some chat that pops up. Right down there, over there to the side, chat. I saw it said she was typing. You see where it says chat?
I'm not typing anything.
You're not typing anything. Okay, we'll close that out. It looked like it was like Cindy is typing. I swear to goodness it said that. I was like,
No,
oh, okay. So yeah, it says Cindy is talking. Okay. Sorry. I what?
Need a much larger one.
Yeah, we may have to bring mine. We may have to just use my laptop, which I don't have a carrier for, but we may have to. The other ones I've done before where I was like on Reagan's laptop, and then Sarah's before that. A lot of people know Sarah, a lot of people know Reagan too, that have helped me out. And then we started switching over, and then I was like, we want to do these ourselves, like, because they can't always be here with me. I like them being here with me, but they can't always be here with me. And so we're like, okay, let's do them. And then like we're just not sure about this one screen wise, because it's a little tinier. So I don't know. We may have to look at a different laptop. This is smelling good. It smells like it should be ready to eat. It's not though, because it still has to go on another side.
Right.
It's like torture.
What oil did you use? The avocado?
Yeah, I'm using avocado oil. And the reason I use avocado oil is it has really good, it has the good fats in it. So one, it's really high in the good fats, and two, it actually has a really high smoke point. So it's like higher than, it's like 500, I want to say it's 550 degrees. I could be totally wrong. Or maybe it's 300 and something. I can't remember, but it's extremely high smoke point. It's higher than 300. So I'm pretty sure it's over 4. I just totally lost it on that one, but it's a very high smoke point. And a lot of times I'll combine olive oil and avocado oil together because I want the avocado flavor. Not the avocado flavor, I'm sorry, the olive oil flavor. I just said that backwards. Okay.
Refined avocado oil has a smoke point of 520.
520. Okay, I was pretty close then. My first instinct.
71 Celsius, yeah.
Okay, thank you. I was like, it just totally went out of my head. And I turned this up a little bit too much. Only because it's getting a little bit too dark on the one side, but it's okay. I like it when people are like, oh, and you shouldn't make mistakes. Okay, whenever you are cooking in a new place or making something that you've never made before with new equipment, it's always a test, the first one. It really is, because you've never messed with it. And this one I think, oh, it's too high and sees it so well. I was like, oh, well, I needed to do it a little bit higher. And then I got them a little dark on the one side. It's okay. At least it's edible dark. Now, when they are burnt, that's a problem. But I did pretty good remembering that but it did. I started to doubt myself. Whenever I doubt myself, that's when I start second guessing myself. I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, it's extremely high smoke point. But it's also extremely expensive oil. So, but it's very good for you. And then I usually get it in this, you can get it at Rainbow Blossom too, online. I know everybody that watches me is online, but you can actually order from Rainbow Blossom online too. So just putting it out there. I'll have a link for them down below too, when I do actually put this up. But yeah, it smells pretty good. It almost smells good enough to eat, but it's not quite ready. Let's see here. We have a the Cindy I'm talking to happens to be my sister. So let's see, we're starting a show soon too. And tentatively right now, March 23rd is when we were planning on doing the first episode. And it's called Allergy Dragon's Lair. And we're actually really pretty. We are really, well, we are really pretty, but we're pretty excited about it.
Yes, we are very excited about it.
And yeah, we're going to be talking about things allergies, obviously, and then things like intolerances and all kinds of stuff, but not just that. It's like, it's going to be more about us personally, like our stories and how we are more than our allergies and more than our intolerances and more than our, specialty diets. I mean, it is a very big part of our lives, obviously, because food is medicine and it helps you. And if you're getting the wrong medicine, it's not good for you and it can really affect your life. So it is obviously food allergies and intolerances and things like that are and celiac disease is a huge part of our lives, but we're so much more than that. And we have to really kind of come together. And I think that that's what we want to kind of bring to the table. Would you agree about that, Cindy?
Yes, and we're very excited that we'll probably have some really neat guests on future shows as well. So we're excited to share in the community of allergies and open it up to everyone.
Yes, we are. Okay, I actually have some done. And I think they look pretty. Okay. Off. I have to remember not to just keep hitting the down button. There's an on-off switch. I want to keep just like hitting the down button to turn it off. Because I'm just weird. Okay, I'm gonna grab a small plate so I can share with other people. Because the best part is food. So these are done. I know they look a little dark in the picture. They're really not that bad. But I get them a little darker than I usually get them, I'll be honest. So. But I think they're pretty good. But our lighting is not the best in here either. So I guess I will share with Dawn. I guess. Okay, we're gonna put that there for this second. I'm gonna see if maybe with like the lighter plate, like that. So I don't know. Can you all see?
We'll lose it.
I'm trying to lose it. Okay, I think you can see it a little bit better.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, and it's not too terribly dark. It still looks like way darker on the screen than it really is. But anyway, I think it's the light. See, like you can't even see it over there. I was like, the light over here is different. So, oh well. So I like it with the sauce. You like it with the sauce too, Dawn? He's all quiet now. Yeah. Is this not one of your? He's an anti-vegetable person. He actually really likes these. So I'm gonna take a bite and then I will share with him. This is like our thing. Now, Cindy, I know you've ate these before.
Yes.
And what did you all call them?
Mung bean on crack.
Yeah. I know, it's like, don't want to flag the video, but they're not cracked. There's no crack in them, but a lot of people call them
crack
like,
in them, but you just don't want to stop eating them. And I could see where you could get sick very easily because you don't want to stop eating it. It just is so good. One of my favorite recipes. I haven't done them yet, so but I would like to do them. So
did you hear the crispy?
You do it, huh?
I said, did you just hear my crispy? Sorry.
Yes.
I was having a moment. I think you should be able to enjoy your own food, right?
Oh,
So,
yeah.
no, it's hard to
absolutely.
it's hard to see this up close, but yeah,
Mhm,
it's packed with veggies and it's crispy, crunchy,
mhm.
and it's just good.
Yeah.
I will share.
You say stuff.
You just took the whole plate from me.
You've got 2 more sitting there.
That is true. I will share with other people. I always do share my food.
Yeah.
So I think that that's pretty much it. Do you have any questions about the recipe that maybe I didn't go over with as well? The one thing I love about doing classes is the fact that I will plan it out. Like if I'm doing a video, I plan it out and I plan every single thing out. The class, I plan it out, but then sometimes I think I said it, but I didn't say it because I'll get distracted with questions and things like that. So any questions at all or anything that you think I need to go back over?
No, I think I'm good.
The frozen ones.
Actually, my husband just said that he had one, which was, okay, so you can get mung beans that are pre-prepared, like from the, like if you go to like one of your Indian, but we have an Indian market here, we have Asian markets. So if you go to like an Asian market, you can sometimes get them frozen and prepared and like cooked. Don't do it because it makes it like,
Green.
it's a grainier texture. The texture is not the same. It's really worth taking the time because I tried it because like everybody wants to like save some time, and I have some pre-cooked mung beans and the texture was just way off. It just did not taste the same. Everybody was like, oh, they taste good, but then the texture, they hated the texture. It did not hold together as well. It fell apart a little bit more. So yeah, actually I forgot about that. So glad that I had the husband here. Oh, he's giving me a little bit back. Okay.
Just one.
Just look, that's what he gave me back.
See?
So, okay, well, I will talk to you all later. I hope this encourages you to actually buy a ticket and come see us on, one of these recipes that I have group classes. The reason I do go through Ring of Awesome, one, they're here in Louisville, they're local, they're amazing. They've been open for over 40 years. I shop there, and my youngest child is working there, so currently, but and I also want to make this as attainable to everybody that has a food allergy that may not have, it's very cumbersome. We do not have a lot of money. I mean, we're grateful for that we've been able to afford our food and that kind of thing, but some people cannot, and they are having to have food stamps and that kind of thing, and they don't have access. And so that's why I try to do these cooking classes, so that at a lower price for a group, so that everybody has access. And that's what we really should do, because it's a community thing and we really need to stick together. And so that's why I do these. So I encourage you to come and have one. And then obviously if you can and want to have a personal online Zoom class, we can do that as well. And you can check out allergydragon.com, and you can follow me on all my socials, and obviously like this video and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. So thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, I'll see you later, Cindy.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, actually it should be hit in record.
Upside down.
Well, you can like flip it around now. Yeah. Just hit in the record first.
Oh, there it is. Are you sure you want to stop recording to the file?